Are you ready? Let me say hello again, and welcome back. Okay, we're continuing our reading on the book of Numbers, trying to see how exactly this plays into our life and what we're going through in our own lives today. How the stories of the past are so emblematic of what's happening today in present times. And the other video ended kind of short. We're trying to get through Numbers chapter 4, trying to get started in actually of the different roles and the rights of the Levites and the priests, because they have a very specific role to play back then as well as now. And the priest, Levi, is supposed to be the priesthood. That's where we get this idea of pastorship and priests, of what they do as a duty. And it's so interesting how God had everything so organized and so orderly of how they were to set up camp from each tribe, who were to lead and where they were to stay and where they were to station. When they left, they moved together in a certain way. Everything is very orderly. So even though it may sound like, oh, it's tedious, it's like, oh, it's going through this stuff. We want people to understand. That's how, because we're trying to get a picture of who God is. What is he like? Is he all chaotic? Is he absentee? Does he not get involved? Does he not care? Why does he do things in a certain way? How does it manage to do it? And they're saying, okay, let's see who God is. Let's see how God operates. So we're seeing how was he standoffish? Did he get involved with the Levites, or did he stay away off, didn't get involved there? But you see him here communicating and talking with Moses, talking with the children of Israel. He's always there. Listen, but where's Jesus? He's not God Jesus. It's God the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Let me make sure I clean this thing. Make sure I see it looking a little messy here. Let me see this thing here.
No.
Listen, kids, you see me good? You see me good? Just make you see me, right? No, I'm just saying. Remember, even if you see me, just keep an eye on the word. So we're saying, who is God, and how does God operate? How does he talk to his people? How did he interact with them? So even though you say all these stories that they're everywhere, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's taking time, but we're trying to get to the Bible from the beginning to the end. We may skip a little small sections that were just like begats, those things, like begats, the descendants and lineages. Some people can look at and learn later on. And there are Bible apps for that. You can look at and listen to the Bible play, even the audio version. You can go to the Bible app and play the audio version so you can hear it, or you can actually read to you yourself, through your phone, or in this case, I used to know the bird. I like to hear his voice because, they say it's my voice too, At the same time, it's just good to hear the story. And they actually cover a lot of things faster than I do if I talk to them. I have to talk, add stuff, and try to expound on it. But he does good, so we're going to let the Bible read for itself. Let know the brick. And I'll just jump in here and then say, wow, interesting. I'll just see all little parts here and there, but just say, it's very interesting to see. So it's like, I can tell you, save yourself the trouble, just listen to, get the Bible app, download it, and just play it. God do it. But some people don't do it. Some people might just say, nah, I just hear and see. But if you do, I'm honored. I appreciate, I appreciate that, But if you do join in, I thank you. I do thank you, everybody who's taking time to watch it, because somebody's like, hey, I thought I subscribed to a car show. I thought I subscribed to trips and stuff. I thought I subscribed to this. Remember, our channel is everything. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of what, a little bit, you never know. You never know what's going to get posted. 1 minute is lawn care, next minute is pressure wash, next minute is back to lawn care, next minute is garden, next minute is the pool, next minute is to the backyard, next minute is to the garden, next minute to the car, next minute to the auto show, next minute to the trip. That's the point of it. This is life. Life is coming at us every day. We don't stop. Do you just do only one thing only? No. So, people say it would be nice to be predictable and know what it is. Like, everyone has their own specific slot. But remember, our label on the business is called Matt to be why not. Like, why not? Why gotta be like everybody else? I'll be myself. I like myself. I'll be me. You be you, I'll be me. I'll make it a certain way so that everything is like this. I know it's kind of throws some people off because we're so used to we like things in a certain order. We like things to be a certain way, right? And I understand that. But that means how much content I'll give you, because if our life is in constant dynamism, we're always doing something. And then you have the Sabbath, thank God Sabbath to take some time off. We're like, I always say, well, what about this? Isn't this so similar to the Bible? It's like when I'm doing workout in the lawn and stuff, or out there in the car or anything, it brings things back from the Bible that says, hey, didn't God speak about something like this? Is that what God meant? Like when you do gardening, it so reminds me of what God does with our lives. When you have to do a cleanup job or a project in the back, I said, this is like our lives, weeds and thorns everywhere, and I gotta get it cleaned up, gotta make it order. Pressure washing, gotta clean away all the grime and stuff from our life, all the mold and mildew that's built up, and you gotta clean it. Driving. Look how the driving is so similar to our life, how we have to manage and balance ourselves, how we have to make sure and monitor how we drive and stay in our lane, and how the distance and all that stuff. What about trips to the places, trips and stuff to say, hey, how people live their lives before us and how they live life now? What did they have to go through and endure? And did they know what the battle was for? And, and to see how much sacrifice was made just to have the freedoms we have today. And this is like going into in preparation for Independence Day. It's like saying a lot of things went through this history in this country, and the people in the world, I give them a lot of credit. They've been through a lot. They're going through a lot, and we still press forward by God's mercies. So we say, well, if we do that, is it only us? Do we have any kind of examples to follow and follow behind? Do we have any kind of history to follow behind? So let's see our forefathers. Let's see the patriarchs and the prophets of the Old Testament. Yeah, Moses and everybody back then. They did it before, so we're going to follow in their footsteps. So then the Lord is talking to Moses and Aaron now. Because Lord is involved. He's always involved. That's the beauty of it. He's always involved. I like that. Numbers chapter 4.
Numbers 4.
Last video ended abruptly. Going to go back
and
to
the
that.
Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi after their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host, to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation about the most holy things. And when the camp setteth forward, Aaron shall come, and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil, and cover the ark of the testimony with it, and shall put thereon the covering of badgers' skins, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put in the staves thereof. And upon the table of showbread they shall spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes, and the spoons, and the bowls, and covers to cover withal, and the continual bread shall be thereon. And they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet, and cover the same with the covering of badgers' skins, and shall put in the staves thereof. And they shall take a cloth of blue, and cover the candlestick of the light, and his lamps, and his tongs, and his snuff dishes, and all the oil vessels thereof, wherewith they minister unto it. And they shall put it in all the vessels thereof within a covering of badgers' skins, and shall put it upon a bar. And upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue, and cover it with a covering of badgers' skins, and shall put to the staves thereof. And they shall take all the instruments of ministry, wherewith they minister in the sanctuary, and put them in a cloth of blue, and cover them with a covering of badgers' skins, and shall put them on a bar. And they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth thereon. And they shall put upon it all the vessels thereof, wherewith they minister about it, even the censers, the flesh hooks, and the shovels, and the basins, all the vessels of the altar. And they shall spread upon it a covering of badgers' skins, and put to the staves of it. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary, and all the vessels of the sanctuary as the camp is to set forward, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it. But they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die. These things are the burden of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation.
Very specific.
And to the office of Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest pertaineth the oil for the light, and the sweet incense, and the daily meat offering, and the anointing oil, and the oversight of all the tabernacle, and of all that therein is, in the sanctuary, and in the vessels thereof. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Cut ye not off the tribe of the families of the Kohathites from among the Levites, but thus do unto them, that they may live and not die, when they approach unto the most holy things. Aaron and his sons shall go in, and appoint them every one to his service and to his burden. But they shall not go in to see when the holy things are covered, lest they die. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take also the sum of the sons of Gershon, throughout the houses of their fathers by their families. From 30 years old and upward until 50 years old shalt thou number them, all that enter in to perform the service, to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. This is the service of the families of the Gershonites, to serve and for burdens. And they shall bear the curtains of the tabernacle, and the tabernacle of the congregation, his covering, and the covering of the badger skins that is above upon it, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the hangings of the court, and the hanging for the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle, and by the altar round about, and their cords, and all the instruments of their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. At the appointment of Aaron and his sons shall be all the service of the sons of the Gershonites, in all their burdens, and in all their service. and ye shall appoint unto them in charge all their burdens. This is the service of the families of the sons of Gershon in the tabernacle of the congregation, and their charge shall be under the hand of Ithamar the son of Aaron the priest. As for the sons of Merari, thou shalt number them after their families by the house of their fathers. From 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, shalt thou number them, every one that entereth into the service, to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. And this is the charge of their burden, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation, the boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and sockets thereof. And the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords, with all their instruments, and with all their service. And by name ye shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. This is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, according to all their service, in the tabernacle of the congregation under the hand of Ithamar the son of Aaron the priest. And Moses and Aaron, and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohathites after their families, and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that entereth into the service, for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. And those that were numbered of them by their families were 2,750. These were they that were numbered of the families of the Kohathites, all that might do service in the tabernacle of the congregation, which Moses and Aaron did number, according to the commandment of the Lord, by the hand of Moses. And those that were numbered of the sons of Gershon throughout their families and by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that entereth into the service, for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them throughout their families by the house of their fathers, were 2,630. These are they that were numbered of the families of the sons of Gershon, of all that might do service in the tabernacle of the congregation, whom Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord. And those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, throughout their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that entereth into the service, for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them after their families, were 3,200. These be those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moses and Aaron numbered according to the word of the Lord by the hand of Moses. All those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron and the chief of Israel numbered, after their families, and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that came to do the service of the ministry, and the service of the burden in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them, were 8,580. According to the commandment of the Lord, they were numbered by the hand of Moses, every one according to his service, and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered of him, as the Lord commanded Moses.
So if you notice this, everybody's involved. Everybody has a role and duty to play. You know from the family. And God's very specific about how he had it done. Go to
Numbers
chapter
5.
Chapter 5.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel, that they put out of the camp every leper, and every one that hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead. Both male and female shall ye put out, without the camp shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps,
Pause a second.
in the midst whereof I dwell.
Now, this is where you say, what? God is even telling about how to keep things isolated and how to isolate the sick from those that are healthy, how to make a distinction between them. Yeah, I'm not like the policies of say some of the stuff we see today, or like quarantine people and force manage and lock you up in your place. None of that stuff. That's authoritarian cruelty. But it's saying you need to separate when people are sick and have a contagious stuff like contact disease and stuff. You have to separate them and so they can get better, let the body heal itself, and let the others, be cared for. So this idea of mass vaccination and jabbing people, all this stuff, it's not in the Bible. Okay, no. You don't get involved in that. But it's the thing. People are so scared all the time. But they're worried about this thing. But I might get sick. I might get this. And yet, some people's lifestyles are what's making them sick. The food they eat, the choices they make, the things they do. Some people live some very dangerous lives. And then they're worried about, but I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get COVID. I don't want to get disease. Do we not understand that?
There's still COVID.
Yeah, is there still COVID? What is COVID? COVID. What is COVID? I don't rearrange the words or whatever. How do you make it? COVID? What is COVID? I'm not making light of it for people who have gotten sick and died of harm by this stuff. But I say what they tell us is not exactly what it is. There's a lot more to it than what they tell us. And they know. The truth needs to come out. You need to expose them for what they do. It's not what people think it is. So maybe I'll put the link up with the high wire is talking about COVID stuff too these days with them. And just what happened should not have happened. But it was permitted to happen because many people they didn't speak up. They didn't say no. They didn't push back. They do so much stuff to us, and you wonder how. But a lot of things happened that did not happen. It should not have happened. And those who should have made a tough decision to stand didn't, for many reasons, known to themselves, to them and God. But they're not done. They got more stuff coming. So what it's saying here is that even with this, even with how to get sick and to care for the sick and to care for other people, God already knew. He had plans about it. So any of the disease they have nowadays today, most people, even some animals, when some animals get sick, they go apart by themselves until they get better. So they don't infect the rest of the crowd, just by instinct. Humans tend to like to be close. Like, I'm sick. How you doing? They contaminate each other. So God's like, hey, people, break it up. You gotta go. If you're sick, go over here till you get better, then come back in. And the leprosy was contagious. It still is. I think in some parts of the Middle East and stuff, they have it. Some parts that I heard still. But he's very specific about how he said, how did you care for them? What you do? So you'll hear some stuff to be like, is this kind of like, some people call it the Mosaic times. It's like, it's such a rigid thing and rigid thing, like, if they touched this, if they came together. I mean, here's something. Like you heard how God, he said, if the people did some of the work that God has specified for only the priests to do, they would be put to death. Do we see how serious God is with his work? People could lose their life for overstepping their bounds, mixing the profane with the rights, with the religious stuff, mixing error with truth. Do you see how specific and how strong God was to that? He don't like it. It's remember the phrase in Transformers when he says, when they I think it was not the age of extinction. Where's the one? I think it's the age of extinction where he says, species with species mixing. Yeah, the age of extinction. Where he says, and I use the TV Guardian that helps us stop the curse and block out the curse and thing. That's actually pretty good. Got it on Amazon, TV Guardian. You can put it into the regular your DVD player, can connect it to the back with the TV and stuff, so it mutes any kind of curse words and stuff. So when it's on, turn off the caption so you don't see it. It's a little side thing. And it's like, it said your creators don't like it. Species mixing with species. You don't like it. You were born for this and this and this. Well, God had a division of stuff where he had things made up in a way where it's like, everybody's welcome to God. Everyone's loved by God. But he has certain rules specified. He calls some people to do some work and some people, to actually be help or assistance to it. Not everyone needs to be the president. Everyone needs to be the leader. We all have a division of labor. Still, the work must get done. Some are pastors, some are speakers, some are preachers, some are drivers, some are deliveries. You name it. God has some are farmers, some are cooks. Everybody has something to do. Everyone has different talents. If you like somebody general, you get up 10 people together. Hey, what do you like? What do you like? What do you like? What about you? You hear almost everyone has something different. Some people say, I like cars too. Yeah, I like this too. I like this too. I'm like, wow, we have something in common. So though we may have things in common, and we all share the same thing for needing for life, liberty, and freedom. Okay, we need food, clothing, and shelter. We're still uniquely, individually, specifically different as God made us to be. That's the beauty about it. And that's how I will say, all those people that are not here today, what could they be adding to life, All those aborted, all those who have sadly passed on and are sleeping in the graves now. What did they add and what could they still add to life, So I want people to live. I want all of us to live long and to be able to give more. Because there's so many things we all have special we can do and give and to be. People, and again, as the history says, people come in life and they go. And what will they be remembered for? What will people remember us for? And then if they remember us, what will it mean to us? My legacy. What does a legacy mean if I'm not around to see what the legacy is doing? How about now? How about that now? Let's just be me. So when someone call your name, like, I know me, I try to be the best at what I do. I try to do what's right and honorable. I try to give God praise in everything we do. Not perfect. None of us are. But I don't want to sit there and celebrate my defects and insecurities. I want to get rid of all these worries and anxieties and defects. I want to be perfect. I want to be like God, in the sense that I want to be as his character, so loving and kind and perfect. I want to be like that. I don't want to make mistakes and make errors. I don't want to sin. I don't want to make God sad. I want God to be happy. Because at some point in time, you have to kind of be able to walk on your own at some point. Well, God will stop you. God's not going to force himself upon anybody from what we've seen. He lets us make decisions and choices. He gives advice. He tells us. He talks to us about some things. And he says, okay, be fruitful and multiply. Did he say how, which way, what to do? But he said, here's some standards. Here's some things to do. Walk carefully. Don't look to the left or right. Focus on the thing. Broad is the gate that leads to destruction, but narrow is the way, and who's wise, who finds it. Be careful. Use wisdom. Study God. Seek God. Seek God first. So he tells you, hey, go there and be the best you can be. But understand, there's some rules you should follow. If you make some decisions, you can lead to harm and hurt and death. If you make some decisions, you can lead to life, eternal, and good things. Choose today what you want to do. That you'll see later on in the book of Deuteronomy as well. But in the 10 Commandments is there. 10 Commandments. It tells us, follow those 10 Commandments, it's all good. Deviate from it, oh, it's bad. Break one, oh, you break all 10. Ooh. So I'm like, God is very specific. So I'm saying, even in the matter of these things, God is telling them, here's why you should care for each other. Here's how you should care for the sick. Here's how you should separate yourselves. You're a big group, big in number. And imagine, I kept thinking this when you say the numbers and stuff. Imagine this, how to be able to try to see how these people here, all of these in numbers, thousands and thousands. And when you say the word score means 20. So he said 3 score and 10, 3 score. So 3 times 20 is 60 and 10 means 70. So God says mankind shall live 3 score and 10, and if I strength to 80. And some people by God's mercy let them live longer. God loves to give us special surprises, you know? But that seems to be the average that most people are living now in this lifespan here. But he's just saying, so when you hear those things, numbers and stuff, don't just say, well, that's it. No, go back and look and see, where did these numbers come from? What does it mean to be a score? A score? Not like on a scoreboard, but score. So I like to see that because what it is, the King James Version of the Bible, it makes me want to research. The more I hear it, it's like, it's not spoon feeding me. Here. No, he's saying, here's some things. Figure out this word, huh? The context, huh? How is it used, huh? You got to read more. So he's telling us some specific things. And God is, even in something as people say, as minor as that, how to care for the sick, how to be able to care for people and to help them. God's like, I want you to pay attention to these things. Here, how to care for the sick.
And the children of Israel did
Numbers
so,
chapter 5.
and put them out without the camp, as the Lord spake unto Moses. So did the children of Israel. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit any sin that men commit, to do a trespass against the Lord, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it the 5th part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he hath trespassed. But if the man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Lord, even to the priest, beside the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him. And every offering of all the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring unto the priest, shall be his. And every man's hallowed things shall be his. Whatsoever any man giveth the priest, it shall be his. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close,
That's adultery.
and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the manner, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near, and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take, and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, If no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, And if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, The Lord make thee a curse, and an oath among thy people, when the Lord doth make thy thigh to rot, and thy belly to swell. And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, to make thy belly to swell, and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Lord, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take an handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterward shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled, and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot. And the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousy, when a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled. Or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity.
Very interesting to me. Some of these things is like, wow, it's a curse or blessing. That's interesting. Remember I said, I'm not going to speak what I don't understand, so I'm leaving
Number
that alone.
6.
Let's go to the Nazarites.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine, or vinegar of strong drink. Neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried.
So that's interesting. Did you just hear that? If you want to be a Nazarite, now that applies. Remember to this, we know the story of Samson. I'm a Nazarite. He didn't want to cut his hair and stuff, and he said it's honorable to God. Where was Jesus from? When Jesus was here, didn't he say from Nazareth and stuff like that? You know, he's a Nazareth. They say Nazareth. That's Nazarite. He's a Nazarite. So they say, oh, he made wine and he gave people to drink. Unfermented wine. The Bible tells you, don't drink liquor. Don't drink any alcohol, any kind of substance that will be depressant or dumped into you, affect your system in that fashion. Don't drink fermented stuff. Vinegar. Vinegar means fermented stuff. You know, pickled stuff and vinegar is fermented. We don't drink those things. You know? God is very specific. He knew what he was talking about, even since back then. And we think, no, we try to get around to get all fancy and creative and ingenuitive and all the way around this stuff. Don't drink alcohol. Not the right thing. God knows. So those who want to be Nazarites, those who want to be set apart to do God's will, those who want to be holy and be special, I want to do God's will. Do we have to go to a mountain or some monastery somewhere in some monk shop hiding somewhere or hidden somewhere, be a nun somewhere? God didn't say there would be separate. God didn't say there would be no nun. He didn't say there would be no monk. Where he said that? If you want to separate yourself to go study God's word, you can do that. Go to the room, go to the closet, read something, take a break, and go read somewhere. They didn't say I got to go hide in a monastery somewhere and don't want to get married, don't want to have children, don't have family. He said, go be fruitful and multiply. How you can multiply by yourself? So I'm saying there's a lot of things people take and do, and it's like, well, that's not based in scripture. If you don't want to you don't want to get married, you want to live without having children, it's your choice. But if you don't have no children, the world will cease to exist eventually. So if you really want to go depopulate the world, don't have any kids, and then we all will die. So we need more children, lots more kids. So if you're married and you're able to make kids, and you have an interest in someone, a husband or wife, pray to God you find the right one and go make lots of children. God bless you. But I'm saying, God knew what he's talking about. You know what he's talking about since back then.
All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree,
For the Nazarites.
from the kernels even to the husk.
Chapter 6.
All the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled, in the which he separateth himself unto the Lord, he shall be holy, and shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow.
Remember
All the
Samson?
days that he separateth himself unto the Lord, he shall come at no dead body. He shall not make himself unclean for his father, or for his mother, for his brother, or for his sister, when they die.
Now that becomes very important in the book of Samson. I keep saying it in the back, but the thing masked it, and the phone kind of pivots to the where the sound is. Remember the story of Samson? So I said, well, why did they mention the specifics of the Samson? When Samson drank wine and liquor and went and partied and festivities, and then then he ate honey from the dead carcass of the lion that he slayed, and then he gave some to his family. So he had a Nazarite vow. It comes later on. How is it the vow? So you see the stories add up. It's like, well, where did I hear this before? Nazarite? What's a Nazarite? What do you do? God is giving you the little tidbit, the legend of the stories coming up. He's giving you the little background stuff. So when you say, oh, you are Nazarite, Samson, you are Nazarite, young man and lady. We see it also in a lot of reggae music and a lot of Rastafarian, Jamaican cultures, where they say they want, even other people too that are doing Rasta, they want to have the locks in here, they don't want to shave their hair and cut their hair and stuff, But then some of them want to smoke weed and stuff like that. Smoking weed is not in the Bible, that's something to be done too. It was found on Solomon's grave. Just because it's found doesn't mean you got to go smoke it. You don't need to smoke weed. Some people say do it for medicinal therapeutic purposes. I think God can give you an alternative to that. Because it's a hallucinogen. It's a drug thing once it's heated and stuff. Maybe some of the chemicals from it can be used for other purposes, hemp and other stuff. I'm not skilled in that kind of area, chemistry. But I think you can use it for other therapeutic purposes. But to smoke it, to have the euphoric experience from it, it's not of God. God don't want anything clouding our judgment to our minds. He wants us to stay focused and sharp. He's the only one that can clear our minds and keep us straight and focused. So I'll stick with him. Smoke on that. Keep it simple, right? But don't smoke in general. Don't drink. Don't curse either. Be good. Let's go.
Because the consecration of his God is upon his head. All the days of his separation he is holy unto the Lord. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he hath defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. On the 7th day shall he shave it. And on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, to the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day.
And you notice it says make an atonement. That word atonement, atonement, break it up as saying at one ment. This is talking about the sacrificial system. The system of when God says how sin is to be punished by, or to make an atonement, to make peace with God, or offering to God for our sin. This is what Jesus came to be, the eternal and ultimate sacrifice. He came to do away with all the sacrifices here by just offering up his body himself as that one atonement sacrifice. So that's what his system is. So what does it point to? The Old Testament talks about the tabernacle system and the sanctuary service, pointing to the New Testament, Jesus and the heavenly sanctuary. Jesus is making atonement and sacrifices for us in heaven. By every time we sin and we ask for forgiveness, Jesus goes into the presence of the Holy Father, God, and says, Father, forgive them. My blood covers them. That's what he said, for God to love the world that he gave his only begotten Son, and whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but shall have everlasting life. For us to have access to be able to have one with God, at one ment with God, atonement with God, for us to have grace, God's redemption at Christ's expense, we have to be at one with God. But we cannot just walk into God into the sanctuary service. We can't just walk into his presence and be, hey, here I am. No, God says no one can watch God and live, because our sins are just so repulsive to him, and even to not, he didn't want to destroy us because you see the sin, but the sin will destroy the bearer of the sin. The sin will self-consume, because like, oh, I hate myself. Just to see how you are and see the holy pureness of God. It's like you read the stories, and as you go through the rest of the Bible and the prophets and stuff, like Isaiah and other ones, when they're in the presence of God and he spoke to them, even like John the Baptist and everybody, when he gives you a vision, he changes you. Another person also, Ellen G. White, who helps to write a lot of the books, Last Day Events and the Great Controversy in these Five Ages, she talks a lot about what God has done for her and the visions. He's a very holy God, very specific. So when he's asking for these sacrifices and these things, he's saying, hey, let's make them peace offering. And by us doing these peace offerings and stuff back then, and these offerings of atonement, we are supposed to see, hey, it's not right to be taking the innocent turtles and pigeons and doves and cows and sheep and goat and all that stuff just for my sin. We have to get sad and appalled by it. Be like, I don't want to sin anymore. I don't want to be I don't want to be sinning anymore. I want to do the right thing. I want to just be good, to save the life of this creature. That was the idea, to get sad and tired of seeing the blood of these innocent creatures that they don't have a conscience to think to sin, and they had to pay the price for us. Well, Jesus was a sinless person. He was a sinless lamb. He died for our sake. Not because he sinned himself, but because we sinned, and he didn't want us to die. He still doesn't want us to die. They said, well, why, man? Why would you perish, your man? He wants us to live even now. So I'm saying, he's telling us, I'm here with you. Rely upon me. Don't sin anymore, please. Go and sin no more.
And he shall consecrate unto the Lord the days of his separation.
Verse 13.
And shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering.
Verse 12.
But the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. And this is the law of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and he shall offer his offering unto the Lord, one he-lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and one ewe-lamb of the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and one ram without blemish for peace offerings, and a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of unleavened bread anointed with oil, and their meat offering, and their drink offerings. And the priest shall bring them before the Lord, and shall offer his sin offering and his burnt offering. And he shall offer the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord, with the basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall offer also his meat offering and his drink offering. And the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation, and put it in the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall take the sodden shoulder of the ram, and one unleavened cake out of the basket, and one unleavened wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazarite, after the hair of his separation is shaven. And the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. This is holy for the priest, with the waved breast and heaved shoulder. And after that the Nazarite may drink wine. This is the law of the Nazarite, who hath vowed, and of his offering unto the Lord for his separation, beside that his hand shall get, according to the vow which he vowed, so he must do after the law of his separation. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, The Lord bless thee, and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
That's God. That's God. We're going to end it here. So I'm going to try to make the video shorter and shorter to give it a few verses, 3 chapters at a time. And so let's see how it goes, you know? And yeah, you're here in the back. She took a nap over this. I didn't put the camera there. She's taking a nap in the back. Because she's busy. She stayed up late yesterday. She worked long this weekend. Plus, she also got her finger squeezed in the car door. She's been through a tough week. Let me show you her finger. So remember I had one a couple weeks ago? Yeah, months ago actually. Oh, mine got better. You know, it's all better. That's God's handiwork. He took that broken, messed up finger. It's all like crooked, and now he fixed it up. Even this lumpy one I had here from all the getting squeezed in the door and pounded by the equipment. Lord knows we have a busy life. But he's like, hey, I'll give you a new finger. For real, he gave me a nice one. See, a little tiny remnant on the side. He said the tip right here, but it's growing out. I didn't ask you to do it, but he did it. The finger healed itself. So hopefully that finger will heal itself in due time too. But she got a really bad, oh wow, yeah, she has that kind of inflammation starting to form up on the side there. It's all brooming there. The nail's gonna come off eventually. And it's starting to say, hey, you've been damaged. It's killing itself off. Cutting off things, circulation, starting inflammation, it's starting to think, but it's gonna come out eventually. You get a better one. Poor thing. It's not easy, but show must go on, right? And even then she's trying to work the camera in the back. So tired she is, but still trying to make it happen. But we keep going. By the grace of God, we're gonna continue just now, okay? So chapter 7, but you see how it is? Nazarites, specific rules for them. God bless you guys.